grief. It's not my normal sort of video of this, but I will do it because the reason I've come onto this is because I was speaking to someone who hadn't spoken for a while, about 2 or 3 days ago, and they were telling me that they've had a few instances over the last couple of months that have, in their family, that have sort of just knocked the family back a great deal, you know. Obviously, I'm not going to mention names, but it kind of hit home, and it just made me think that if you lose someone, how do you deal with it? You know, what's the best way to deal with it? From my understanding, I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way. I really don't. I think you deal with it. You deal with grief. How you deal with it, basically, you know, you deal with it, and you navigate through it, and you know, it just becomes easier over time. It either might not become easier over time. I mean, I don't know. You know, I've had 2 instances of grief and one not so long ago. And the way I done it, I just, to be fair, I didn't even know I was grieving, if that makes sense. You know, I just didn't even know, and it always hits me in my quiet at times. You know, it always hits me in my quiet at times. Now, the worst thing you can do, and I don't know if you guys are like it, but with me, if I'm left alone, my fucking head is my own worst enemy. You know, if I'm left alone, all types of shit's going through my head. I'd much rather be around people, especially my wife, my kids. You know, you've got that sense of comfort, you've got the sense of belonging, then, haven't you? You know, if you're on your own, all types of shit can go through your fucking head. But yeah, it just really resonates with a few people. I know, you know, people are going through it right now. People go through grief every day, and you know, for those who are alone and they've lost a family member, and they don't find or think they've got anyone to talk to, then please just reach out to someone, you know, whereby it be a friend you haven't spoken to for a while, maybe a counsellor, could be anyone. Just please, just reach out to someone, because, as they say, a problem shared is a problem halved. Essentially, you know, if you speak to someone about it, then you're gonna feel like you've got that release, I suppose. I don't know, but you've got a release, and you've got someone who you can talk to. But my advice would always be just to speak to someone. And obviously, if you are currently going through grief and you've got your family, they're going to be your main support blanket. You know, your family are great, and everyone pulls together, and you just navigate your way through it. But there is also options out there. If you feel you need a sort of an independent ear, like maybe a counsellor, a grief counsellor, they'll most certainly help you. Sometimes a lot of people find it easier to speak to someone who they've never spoken to before, or they don't know, because it just, you know, I don't know why that is. I've had a counsellor before for other reasons than grief, but I did find it easier to speak to like an independent ear, someone who doesn't know you, someone who can't judge you, someone who's just willing to sit there and listen to what you've got to say. And then what these counsellors do, and with grief and probably all types of counsellors, they try and pick to the bottom of it all, and under it, and unearth all these scenarios that you've been through, and hopefully once they've done that, then they can start advising you and guiding you the right way, and then eventually you'll start solving the puzzle pieces, and then you can move on. But My honest answer is for grief, you'll deal with how you deal with it. Just know, however you deal with it, there is support out there. Absolutely support out there. So just don't suffer. My point is, don't suffer in silence. Like I said earlier on, if you suffer in silence, my head's my own worst enemy. I don't know if you guys are the same, but it can be quite. You get all types of shit running through your head, and some of that shit, as I've seen before, doesn't often end well for some people. So we want to try and avoid that, and just try and get you to speak up and do the best you can and make the best out of a shit situation, I suppose. But yeah, please don't suffer in silence. You can inbox me and I can talk to you. There's support out there. There'll be groups on all social media platforms. Contact the NHS if you do need that guidance a bit further on, like counselling and stuff. All right. So if anyone is going through this, I'm really sorry, and I hope that this message reaches you, and just be known that there's help and there's guidance there for you. All right. So I just hope that whoever this reaches, if you are going through the same thing, I'm really sorry, and I hope you can find your peace soon. All the best to you.